Hello, welcome to my home. If you're new here, my name is Karen. It's a Saturday morning for me. Oh my goodness. So when I woke up this morning, I was like, I think I'm going to not that there's anything wrong with this, just saying. I was thinking, I think I'm going to spend the whole day in bed, and I don't really want to see anyone. And now that I'm upstairs, I can kind of hide away, right? So I thought that for about an hour from like 6 to 7, and then I reluctantly got up. Our youngest had to work at 7, but thankfully Robin took her, and he's getting ready to take Yvonne to work now. She actually has a job interview at 10, and then she starts work at her other job, or her real job, well, the job she has, at 11. So I'm about to take a shower, and I think one thing I'm going to do is a brain dump. One problem we're having is I was so good about my setup, and I will show you my meal plan after my shower. I made a meal plan. I went on Pinterest. I got recipes. I thought really hard about it. I looked at what was on sale and then made a list and made the list online. And then I went to pay and it wouldn't take my credit card. It was asking for my credit card, which I thought was weird because it never does that because it's all in there. So I just couldn't get it to work. So then that was at like 6 in the morning. Took Yvonne to work, came home, tried it again, still not working, losing my delivery time. And so then I had my husband try his credit card. That didn't work. Well, then I find out that there was something wrong with their webpage because of the hurricanes in the south. I mean, I'm in Maine and whatever, they're connected somehow to the south. So I looked today and they don't even have any delivery dates open. So I'm going to have to grocery shop the old-fashioned way. I did get a few things yesterday. Like I wanted to make sure they had like the big pork butt. And I wanted to make sure to get that because it's 99 cents a pound. And what I'm noticing is that every week they have something. So week 1 was roaster chicken. Week 2 was turkey breast, which I bought. And this morning after my shower, I'm going to be putting that in a crock pot to make turkey broth. Last time I did the chicken broth with the bones on the stove. So I thought, one of you mentioned, oh, you can do that in your crock pot too. And I was like, okay, when I get the turkey, let's do it in the crock pot so that people can see it both ways. And I like that because it's a Saturday. I kind of forget it in case we think of something fun to do. Because y'all, I need it so bad. I'm speaking Southern by saying y'all. I need to do something fun. I don't know what that's going to look like because we have a lot of moving parts. For our youngest, it's also the homecoming dance tonight. So lots of moving parts. But let me show you while I'm taking my shower what I did get done yesterday. You'll notice there's like a food theme for me right now, but a lot of it's just because of the time of year. It's time to really, we have so many serrano peppers that came in. So I needed to get those preserved, and I also don't want there to, it's been like in the 70s, but we could just like that have a frost. So we've had snow in October many years, and it usually will snow and go away and not come back for a couple months, but I just don't want to lose like my oregano and my chive. I haven't dealt with the chive yet. That's a good reminder. So I'm going to show you what I did yesterday, and then I'm going to take my shower. And Robin has already dealt with the pork this morning, which you're going to see. Then I need to get that turkey in. I need to remember to do my chive. I need to do a brain dump. So as you can hear, my brain is in a lot of different places. I can hear birds outside. There was also a deer. I wish I would have gotten it on film for you guys, but there was a deer out front this morning eating the bird seed because I do spread some bird seed on the ground always for the ground feeders. I love morning doves. So, okay, I'm having a hot flash now that I'm talking about all these things, so I'm going to go take my shower. What time is it? 9 o'clock. My room is such a mess all of the time, so... Oh, I got a makeup mirror I need to show you guys. I need to set that up. Oh, man, I got so many things in my crawl. That's why I need a brain dump, because I need to prioritize, or I'm just going to fly off in 100 directions and feel like I got nothing done. Also put my towels in here, my laundry. Oh, I thought I had a big towel. Maybe not. I'll get one from the closet. This could be for my hair. Also, yesterday, tried to upload a short. I don't think it went as a short, and I don't know if it's because I did it from my laptop or what. So if you saw like random under 1 minute video that we were like, that's kind of weird because the stuff she's already told us. Well, that's why, because I was trying to start uploading shorts. And as usual, I did something wrong and I looked at videos and everything, but not a professional YouTube lady here. So I appreciate your patience and that you watch this channel and that we can be friends. So thank you for being here. I cut this oregano a couple of days ago. I definitely had it up on the channel. You would have seen me, and I put it in a Glad-Lock bag and popped it in the refrigerator. So I really don't want to let it go anymore. It was already kind of getting wilty. So I thought I better get it dried. I know there's multiple ways to dry oregano, one of which would be hanging it upside down in a dark place and just letting it dry naturally. I prefer to do the oven method. I think you can do it in the microwave too. I prefer the oven method. It just is, I don't know, it's easy for me. But last time I picked off every individual leaf and put it on parchment paper. This time I saw pictures of it just on the stem, put in the oven on the stem, and then taking the leaves off when it's already dried, which did end up being a lot easier. So I'm putting down parchment paper. It's going to go in a 170-degree oven. They say an hour, which I did end up doing that. Last time, it seemed to dry quicker. I did try to blot it off and not have it wet when it went in because obviously it being wet will make it take longer. But it did take about an hour, which was interesting. So after a half hour, then I'm kind of keeping an eye on it. So, you know, but it's at 170. It's really not going to burn up too much. Super thankful to have my double oven. Also, if your oven only goes down to 180, that's fine too. Just put it in on 180, no big deal. So all I got dried on this day was the oregano. But, you know, something is always going to be better than nothing. And it always does take a bit of time. I mean, I think a good hour just getting it all washed and picking it over, looking it over, making sure I'm not drying something else that just happened to get in the way of my oregano. I think next year I'm going to put it in a pot. I feel like I'm more confident if it's in a pot that weeds didn't get in there. Don't really want to sprinkle weeds on my spaghetti sauce. Though as long as I don't have anything poisonous in the garden, of course, it wouldn't really do any harm that I know of. But I was just thinking as I was going through this process that I might like it better coming out of a pot. So we'll see how that goes next year. It was super satisfying, even putting it on an orange towel that had a little Halloween fall type decoration on it. It just felt very cozy fall-like. And I said earlier in the video when I was in my bed that I really needed to do something fun. Well, of course, Yvonne and Ava were busy today working, and then Ava was getting ready for her homecoming dance. But Robin and my daughter Rachel and I decided to go apple picking. We do have an orchard less than 10 minutes from our house. And so the fact that we haven't been apple picking yet is, I can't even believe it, honestly. But usually we're so excited, we go super early, and so the apples are super crisp and very sour. But this time I had one already, and it was so sweet and juicy. Oh, so good. They didn't have the McCown apple. You know, it's interesting. In Maine, what I remember growing up picking always was McIntosh. And the owner, or the original owner to this orchard, told me one time when we were on a hayride that McIntosh are actually considered a junk apple. And I can't remember if it's because maybe it does well in cooler weather or why it thrives here. But he was saying it's just kind of funny that it's considered a junk apple. But for Mainers, it's really the standard. It's the standby of what we all expect to have. So we had a lot of fun with the apple picking today. Seed when we cook, right? Goodbye.
I'm sorry, I thought you were talking to the camera. Okay.
Oh.
Yes, so when we do seed, when we cook.
So I'm gonna cut the top off, slice them down the middle, take out the seeds. Then I'll flash freeze them, which means they won't stick together when you freeze them. And then I'll put them in a Glad-Lock bag, throw them in there. So these are serrano peppers, and I have never preserved serrano peppers before, and you do the same thing with jalapeno peppers or honestly any other of the peppers. So what I'm doing, what I read to do was I'm cutting the top off, and then I'm going to cut down the middle here. I'm going to remove any seeds. You notice I have gloves on. I have made that mistake. Oh boy, once you make that mistake once, you don't want to do it again. Those oils, they get on your fingers, and then if you rub an eye, or I remember with jalapenos, it stayed on my hands for hours, and I washed them multiple times, and it still was there. So it's a good idea to wear gloves, but that you can just see what the pepper looks like. You want it to be dry because I washed them first. You want to dry them off with something, a cloth or a paper towel, because what I read was if you freeze them that way, if you freeze them wet, that it can change the flavor. So I made sure to dry them, and then I'm cutting them like this. I'm putting them on a broiler pan only because both of my, or all of my cookie sheets are currently in the oven with oregano on them. So what I'm doing is putting all of the peppers on this broiler sheet, and then I'm going to be popping it in the freezer. And you want to freeze it for about an hour, although mine were in there for much longer because I kind of forgot, and it didn't even end up, I don't even think it ended up on the video when I took them out. But once they're frozen, then you just pop them in a freezer bag. And flash freezing, what that does, because they're flash freezing separately, then they shouldn't stick together in the Gladlock bag. The only reason they would stick together is if your freezer was left open for a long time and things started to defrost and then refroze, or let's say that you had a power outage or something like that. But even if that did happen, it's a pepper. I don't think it would be the worst thing, especially if you're going to end up pureeing it in a sauce, which is more than likely what we'll be doing with these. But this also took a bit of time, and so I put a video on. It was listening to a video, just like I actually was doing that with the oregano too. You can pretty much tell if I'm doing a voiceover. It's probably because I had a video going in the background. The only exception is sometimes there'll be someone listening to music or a TV show, and I'm concerned about copyright. So then I'm forced to not use, me talking to the camera, which in the latter part of this video, the last half is all me talking to the camera because it was in the morning, and it's a good time, a good quiet time in the house. But for right now, I'm avoiding you getting to hear what I'm listening to. It was probably, I know I listened to Jody Dunn. Yeah, I think that's what it was actually. It could have also been Kimmy Cope, which is actually Kimi and then Cope. And then on Saturday mornings, which was this morning, I watched Kimmy from the Wads because she always posts on a Saturday. But anyway, sometimes when I'm doing a long task, I just need a little bit of help. So all these seeds are getting absolutely everywhere. I'm not neat about it at all. So I just keep scraping the cutting board and doing the best I can. And then I'm going to shake out the towel in the trash and then wash the towel. So I'm trying to, these gloves are a little bit big on me, so I have to keep pulling them up to get the fingers tight because there's been so many times where I actually cut the end of the finger, and then what would be the point of having the glove on if I'm still getting the pepper oils on me? I didn't end up doing the jalapeno peppers. We just don't have that many because we've been using them more often. I think my husband made poppers with them, so that uses quite a bit. And then anything we're making that's Mexican, we'll just de-seed it, chop it up, throw it in there. It adds a little bit of heat, but not a lot. It's the seeds that carry the heat, and how. So we do clear out the seeds. My husband could handle it, but definitely not me. My taste buds are very sensitive. If you also garden, I would love to know how you like to preserve things. Do you like to freeze them, dry them, can them? What do you like to do, or do you just use it straight out of the garden? I really didn't expect to be preserving anything because I really more or less had a hobby garden, a container garden. It was very experimental. I had an absolute blast with it. I enjoyed it so much. It was so satisfying for me to look up on my deck and see all of those plants. And my husband was just thrilled with the serrano peppers and the jalapenos and the way that went. So there is all of the innards. And I'm going to rearrange my freezer a little bit so that it will fit nice and flat and I don't have to worry about the peppers dumping out and making a mess in the freezer. And then it works out that it's time to take out the oregano. I seriously cannot believe that it is almost October. Oh, and as I was taking that out, some sprigs were ending up all over the oven. It was a bit of a mess. I'm definitely not a professional. I always make a mess. It used to drive my poor mother crazy, the messes that I would make in the kitchen. But I digress. Where was I? I was saying I can't believe it's October again already. And my daughter Rachel and I were talking, and that's why we ended up apple picking. There's always a fall bucket list, whether it's in our head or written down. There's always a lot of things we want to do in the fall. And so, boy, when October hits and I think I've got to get crack-a-lackin' here or things just aren't going to get done. So it's supper time on this night. So this was Friday night when I was doing this. It was actually going to be Friday afternoon, but things just always take longer than I plan on. And so thankfully, Robin is making dinner. So he's doing the Mexican rice, and we had peas, and he seasoned some chicken with just some like cumin, chili powder, that, onion powder, that kind of thing. So he's going to be on my side there making dinner while I am just pulling these leaves off the stem. And I have to say, this was a lot easier than when I did the picking off each individual leaf and putting them on the parchment paper. I did have to be kind of careful that I wasn't getting sticks in with the leaves, and I had to pick them out once or twice, but it really wasn't that big of a deal, and I definitely would do this again this way. And unlike the first batch I got, which I think maybe I did just one cookie sheet of oregano, and I was just doing individual leaves and I was trying to space them out nicely, I didn't get nearly what I'm going to get today. I mean, I just had a little bit on the bottom of the oregano bottle when I started, and I was able to fill it up. That made me super, super happy. Each year in the fall, we love to go apple picking, and we do decorate pumpkins. I think Yvonne wants to paint pumpkins this year. And I have acrylic paint, the kind I bought for the rock painting. And I also have the markers, which I think she's going to really enjoy. She said she wanted to make a minion pumpkin. And then Rachel and I really wanted to do fairy houses with our pumpkins. I've been looking at that on Pinterest. I'll definitely be sure and show you when we do them. But you make like a doorway and a door with sticks and decorations with leaves, and of course we have the paint, and who knows what our imaginations will come up with. I even thought of using some acorns and kind of making something that squirrels might actually want to munch on, whereas in the past I would get a little frustrated with the squirrels. Also, deer sometimes will munch on your pumpkins. The funny thing about deer, though, is they don't often eat something from start to finish. They are such grazers. Take a bite, move on. Take a bite, move on. I knew this man who grew pumpkins. He had a whole field, and he used to donate them. I don't know if it was to a school. He didn't donate all of them, but a good number of them he would donate somewhere. I can't remember where now. But he lost his entire field of pumpkins in one night from a bunch of deer that just went through and took a bite out of every pumpkin. So my husband is making the Mexican rice, and he does it different than me. He put the rice down, and you do brown the rice, but he put the spices down, and his pan was quite hot. And so I suddenly smelled something burning, and it was his spices. So now I'm kind of double dutying, keeping it hydrated. So I had put some chicken broth in, and he was like, now I don't know how much chicken broth is there. I don't know what to add. I'm like, just ignore it, because anything I put in, it just went up in steam immediately because the pan was so hot. I was just trying to save those spices from burning. But the rice ended up coming out great. It was all fine, and Yvonne was so excited to get to take that to work the next day. I say the next day, but it's actually today that she took it. I'm telling you,
when you do voiceovers or when you're editing video, it's kind of like Back to the Future. You know, you're just trying to keep your timeline straight. But with, at least with daily posting, you know, it's a little bit easier. But I will say this, I was saying I was going to try to post daily, which I don't know that I've ever actually accomplished 7 days of videos in a row, maybe once or twice. This is what I'm going to say now. I will post videos as often as humanly possible for me to do. I would love to do it every day, but I do tend to crash and burn about day 5, sometimes after day 3. So let me just back up a little bit and humble myself and say, please know I want to post as many videos as possible and get them out as quickly as possible. But lately I've been doing a lot of driving kids around, and which it isn't that it's a problem, it's that we live so far away. So if something is 35 minutes one way, like where they work, where, well, not where both of them work, but where one of them works, you know, for me, it's over an hour, and I end up usually pairing it with an errand, and sometimes I just get home and I'm exhausted from the driving. I don't know what it is about driving lately, but it does tend to zap me. Okay, now we're going to come back from the future. There's my oregano. It's full. I'm so excited. Okay, now let's go to present day. Friday
My
night
weather
is
app
over.
didn't even say it was going to be sunny. So what I think I'm going to do is go outside to make my brain dump, because I don't think this is going to last. Although, look at that sky. Maybe it is going to last. I'm even thankful for the sound of crows today. When I have a lot of things to carry down the stairs, like I have a tripod and my coffee cup, and I'm also going to be shooting my sheets down the stairs, because I am thinking I need to at least start my sheets washing and get that turkey in, because I think Rachel could actually use the turkey broth tonight for dinner. So part of that I'll keep out, part of it I'll freeze. So what I do is I ball it up in my towel and I shoot it down the stairs. I just throw it down the stairs. One of the things I'm really trying to do today is to, even though I have like always 3 million things on my mind on a Saturday, is to go slow and intentionally and be present for the things that I'm doing. You know, if it's sweeping a floor, if it's doing dishes. The only exception to that is when I really get tired. It does help me if I have like a video of a creator that I love going in the background and they're keeping me company, and if I can't find one, I'll rewatch one, you know, and it's just very soothing to me. So I will do that, but I'm trying to get better at making work restful by going slow, being intentional, and then being content with myself if I don't get a lot done, you know. And I've talked about the to-do list. If you don't have a to-do list, make a to-do list. Write down what you did in that day. But I would even write down if you participated in a hobby, if you read a chapter in a book. I really think we need to start celebrating the breaks that we take and how we take them. And even if you could keep all of this in a notebook and just do a new page every day, whether it's your to-do or to-do list. If it's a to-do list, I feel like you need to write down some, at least ideas for yourself. Oh, there goes my focus. Are we back? I don't have my glasses on. Oh yeah, okay, we're back. You know, at least if you're doing a to-do list, then write down ideas of things you could do when you take a break. You know, I wouldn't want you to do that if that makes it feel like a job. And if it's a to-do list, write down the things you did to relax, because let's celebrate those. Oh, I did nothing today. Really? Maybe it was your favorite day of the week where you actually enjoyed being quiet, listening to music, reading a book, listening to birds. Write some of those things down, and then honestly, I think your to-do or to-do list, and mine, because I haven't been doing this, will start to look like a gratitude list. Look what I got to do today. Look what I had the health to do today. Look how I took care of myself by taking a break and reading a book, or by sitting outside and just listening to birds, or chatting with a neighbor, or letting my cat rest in my lap and petting my cat and listening to it purr. You know, let's start celebrating the breaks we take. I think it will encourage us to take more breaks and do more things that we enjoy, because when you get to the end of your life, it's not just about, did I spend time with my kids? Of course it's about that too, because they always say at the end of your life, you won't care that you had a clean house. You'll care that you spent time with your children. But for some of you, I know you live alone, you're retired. I think at the end of your life, it needs to be, okay, I wasn't just about changing the sheets on time. There was more to my life than changing the sheets. God has given us all good things that we might enjoy them. And so I think we honor God when we enjoy the beauty around us and the blessings that He's given us, because we don't know what tomorrow holds. Oh goodness, I'm hearing from these towns that were hit by this latest hurricane, and some of those places were like, we don't get storms like this. So we're not accustomed to this level of flooding. You know, we just do not know what tomorrow is going to hold. Hardships come to everyone. So let's take some time today and let's enjoy a little life, you know? And so if you did something today just for the sake of enjoying it, maybe it's something you used to say, oh, I was so lazy, I did this all day. I binged Netflix all day. I listened to music all day. I sat with my cat all day. I rocked my grandchild today. I would love for you to put it in the comments section below, and I think it would encourage everyone here. I know it would encourage me. I'll put regular clothes in with my sheets too. I don't think it really matters. I'm going to put my makeup on now, so while I'm putting on my makeup, I'll show you what Robin did with the pork this morning. And then we'll get to that turkey.
It's only 210 calories. Check that out. See that? If I eat this entire thing, it's only 210 calories. Per serving, of course.
Serving is what? The eighth of a pound?
It's a quarter-sized piece of meat, I would imagine. I got some serious fat here. I wonder if I should leave. Oh, wow, there's a bone in this.
Right, that's why it's 99 cents a pound.
Oh, I didn't think it was bone in. Well, that's going to make it a little bit different.
That's why I was just going to cook it and then season it in different ways after.
Well, I can still do what we wanted to do. It's just going to be a little bit different. That's all.
What was it you were going to do again?
Well, I'm going to take some of this fat off to begin with. We don't need all that. We could make pork rinds with this.
That'd be interesting.
Wouldn't it? Kind of fry some of that up, see what happens.
Aren't you glad I did the dishes last night?
Yes, I am, very much so. See, look at that. You can fry those up and make pork rinds.
Mm-hmm. Look it up. How to make pork rinds.
Yeah, I can still do this. We'll save this piece. This is what I'll cook today.
Right. Maybe you should subdivide that other piece that you saved.
Well, that's the one that has a bone in it, so we'll just have to do that as one shot.
I love you couldn't wait for me to get the camera over here.
I'm sorry. I thought you...
Well, the sun did not even last 5 minutes. Oh well. It was still pretty to see just for the moment. So I'm going to head in and do the turkey now that I have the makeup on. There was something I was going to tell you too, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, I know. So I did one of those. Do you ever see those ads where it was like you can totally lose weight just by walking? So I thought, well, how about if I was trying to eat healthy and walk, right? So I downloaded it. Don't recommend it. So I'm not even going to tell you what it was. So it told me I needed 4,400 steps. Well, if you are going to download one of those things, put a step tracker on yourself first, because as it turns out, I can do 4,400 steps just in an average day without taking a walk. So if that was going to make me just magically lose weight, I would have already lost it. So don't recommend, and I'm going to try to focus on getting in a walk that isn't like part of what I do daily and see how that goes. But I am encouraged that I actually take way more steps than I thought I did. But I'm just saying, it's just another area where you just do your best. Try to get in as much activity as possible, but I definitely don't recommend doing one of those apps where you download, because I don't know, they're just making that. I feel like they're just making that crap up. Anyway, I know that for some people they're like try to get 5,000 steps in, or they try to get 10,000 steps in. I think 10,000 is like standard. I think 2,000 is a mile, so that would be 5 miles a day. But it was like, man, like yesterday I didn't go on a walk. I had over 5,000 steps. So I had 2.5 miles without even going for a walk. Of course, I did go to the grocery store just to get a few things. I'm trying to think of what else I did that would cause a lot of steps, because I didn't even get a decent video out yesterday. I don't even know. Anyway, here's my garden. There's still some things happening, but we've had rain, and so there are some things that need to be rescued from water. Interestingly, this is still like dry as a bone, and this is drowning right beside of it. So, but I'm kind of done gardening in my heart. I was going to look up when to winter over the hyssop, because I definitely don't want to wait too long. Kind of watering my lavender here at the same time. But it seems done, and I also need to look up how to winter over the roses and how to winter over the lavender, because wintering over the hyssops properly made all the difference in the world. Still getting serranos. So we're just going to let this thing be and see what it does. Still getting jalapenos, although I notice a huge slowdown in how fast they grow. Still getting the hot, these are called hot cherry peppers, I think. My husband, we had one that actually ripened, and so my husband ate it, and he said it wasn't spicy at all. Definitely need to harvest and dry my stevia. And what else do we have here? I got a little basil, which I'm excited about. I might just enjoy that fresh. And where's the parsley? Oh, yes, I need to harvest that today. Oh my goodness! One of the peppers fell into the parsley. How did that happen? It must have been windy. Well, I'm glad I found it before it, like, died. Oh, and there's a jalapeno there that I hadn't noticed. That guy's going to be good. And then these two plants I'm going to feed to the deer by putting it at the edge of my property, because they're done. These were sweet peppers. Also, I did the dishes last night before I went to bed and cleaned up the kitchen. So I have this out because I'm about to make myself an electrolyte drink. And okay, now I've told my husband not to lock these because you can blow up your, what is it called? Crock pot. One of you told me, so. Oh, he also didn't use a liner, but that's okay. I probably wouldn't have done well anyway. I need to find my other crock pot. Oh, there it is. So thanks to Goodwill, I have 2 crock pots. So I roasted the turkey breast a couple days ago, which I believe I put on my channel. I honestly can't even remember what I have put up and what I have not. I noticed this does need to be rinsed, so we're going to do that first. It's just a little dusty. So we've been doing so good with our leftovers because Yvonne has gotten very serious about saving up for a car, and so she's also been putting in more hours at work. So she has been taking our leftovers every day. In fact, today her work day spans over lunch and supper. So I had the rest of the lentil soup she took, and then last night's meal she also took, which was chicken with Mexican rice and peas. And I put it in one box, like put the rice, then the chicken, then the peas. So she was pretty excited about it. So I'm very happy that we're not wasting food right now. I mean, it will pass and we'll have another bad spell, but at least for this week we had a very good spell. All right, so here is my turkey carcass. It has meat on it. I have some meat left over, so I'm thinking Rachel will use this with some of the, I'll thicken some of it as a gravy with cornstarch, and she can put it over rice. And then we're going to use a piece of celery, because why not? What else do I have in here? Ooh, poblano. I gotta figure out what those are for. We'll use carrots.
think carrots is really enough, and maybe 1 potato. I like potato in there. It kind of acts as a thickener, and when I thicken, maybe I will blend the potato into the broth. That's something I have done before to thicken it. I got that idea from Martha Stewart. I might do it with the celery too, and maybe a little bit of the carrot, because I don't know that we want an orange broth. But I will do it for the part that we're going to thicken. And then the broth, like I put the chicken broth in my freezer, but I wish I would have like flattened it when it was thawed out. That would be better, as if it was flat. Because I don't have it right now, but we do that with rice. Maybe I should make some rice that we can flatten. You know what? Instead of using our fresh carrots, I'm going to use these. This carcass has more meat on it than I generally have. It's a little hard to pick the breast completely clean, so I'll kind of harvest the meat out of that too. Alright, I'll start that. I'm going to start it up higher, and then I'll turn it down once it gets hot. How much water you put in, honestly, literally doesn't even matter. What you could do is taste test your turkey, and then taste test the broth. If it's not strong enough, leave it longer. The longer you leave it, the more flavor it's going to have. I don't think I'm going to fill this. I'm at, oh my goodness, I've done 8 cups already. So, but it's really because the carcass is kind of on the big side. And then it's not going to cover the carcass, although I could like collapse the carcass maybe. Maybe I'll do that. That didn't work great. I'm not that strong. It worked a little. No, I don't know. You can really put any vegetable in this. This is just kind of one of those what my mother used. I am using a red onion because we've had this for a bit now. My yellow onions are brand new. So I'm going to take a stalk of celery. Just kind of, you know, rough chop it. I could have probably put it in whole. You know, it's kind of like those art projects you give to kindergartners. You just can't fail. A lot of people will put peels and such in theirs. I just don't. It's just never how I've done it. So, also, if I want to puree it and put it back in, I don't really want to have the peels. But that's just me. That's the good thing. There's no right way to do it, you know? It's like finger painting. I have been craving turkey, and I cannot wait for Thanksgiving, so that's why we got this breast. But it was 99 cents a pound that week, and then I noticed when I was at the store yesterday to get the pork that I got for 99 cents that it was $3.49 a pound. So I'm not going to use the whole thing. So I was super happy that I jumped on it when I saw it at 99 cents. I can't wait to see what is on sale next week. So that's really been kind of driving a lot of my meal planning, is what's on sale for meats. Again, just, you know, giving it a chop. Throwing it in. Takes all 5 minutes. Could have been a little neater with this, but oh well. I almost threw away my celery bag. Don't want to do that. Alright. These were, I don't even know what we bought these for, but we haven't used them. This is going to smell amazing all day. It's like having turkey potpourri. But if whatever vegetables you have that haven't been getting used, that's a great vegetable to put in a broth. You really can't go wrong. Now I'm going to do some salt and pepper. I'm not really measuring it. It's just that the measuring spoons are handy. I mentioned how I put my turkey in plain, and for a lot of you that's kind of disgusting because it is true that turkey doesn't have a strong flavor, but part of that is just I have lived in Maine my whole life, and Maine cuisine, like historically, is bland. And so that's kind of the way I'm used to eating things. So I have more flavor now, all the Mexican stuff we make, but it hasn't really reached the things I roast yet. I think we'll get bougie and cut a couple sprigs of parsley to put in, just so I can feel fancy.
I appreciate everybody's input on like slow living, gentle living, slow, gentle. Somebody said another one too. I need to go back to the comments and see. I think I'm just going to trim all of this. Well, not the little tiny sprigs. And then maybe I'll get another harvest out of this. And I'll dry these right away. But you see what I'm doing? I haven't even made my dump list. And I'm off and running. Which isn't necessarily wrong, but I think, oops, I didn't need to cut that little one. I think as soon as I get these in, I am going to make my list so that it happens. Oh, this smells so good. Oh, this is going to be great in my broth. It really is. Oh, I should have been doing this all summer. That's the hardest thing is like, try to see my garden as my refrigerator. And just like, you know, you don't want things to hang out in the fridge till it rots. It's the same in the garden, you know. I don't want to waste my resources here, so I'm really trying to double time it. I don't even know what this is or how it... Oh, this was like part of a label. That's funny. So, yeah. I watched a very much typical, what would you call it? You know, typical slow living video this morning, and it was like the perfect teacup and all that's part of slow living. But I have to admit that it did relax me, and I found myself going through my morning a little more intentional. So it definitely had a value. Okay, look at that beautiful parsley. I feel like Martha Stewart right now.
I'm sure it's rinsed, although it did just rain, but you never know what squirrels did to this. I think I wasn't filming, but I rinsed the parsley. I didn't even cut it. I just kind of threw some in there. I have some left over that I can dry, but this is what the broth is looking like. You could put thyme in there. Thyme makes it a little earthy for me, so I think parsley is good enough. All right. Do your magic. And I don't want this to rot on me, so I'm going to wrap it in a paper towel first and then put it in the baggie. But I'm hoping that I will get this, you know, dried today. Some raspberry lemonade Propel here. My baby whisk. So I do have a hard time getting it completely lump free. I'm trying to beat it up, and then I end up putting my finger in there. Yum. Okay, I feel like I've already been about as constructive with this day as I want to be. But we'll see. We'll see. Probably just means I need a break. But I'm so happy that I cleaned the kitchen last night. I even swept it, and then I vacuumed around like the living room, the bathroom, you know, really the main areas of the house, the old dining room. So getting up to a clean kitchen made such a huge difference. Wow, I've used a lot of this pad. My goodness. Oh, here we go. Look. Okay, I love it when I actually use what I have. It just makes me happy. So we have already stripped the bed, so we're washing sheets. So I'm going to say change the bed. I could break it down if I wanted to, you know, to make it look like more things. Strip the bed, wash the sheets, make the bed. You know, there's an idea for you. Then you get 3 check marks instead of 1. And then we did I didn't do it, but Robin did, the pulled pork. And then hopefully he hopefully he froze the pork. Did I tell you what my yeah, I told you about my grocery store. We might need to grocery shop. Oh, do I hate grocery shopping. And I've been so spoiled getting delivery. I gotta think about, I'm gonna write in parentheses, more steps, because that will make me feel better. Get more steps. Oh, I hate grocery shopping. I need to feel blessed when I grocery shop that I can buy that stuff. I've just been so spoiled. What was I going to say? Clean out fridge, which I should put in parentheses wipe. Because I don't think I actually have any food to throw away. There's 2 small pieces of flatbread pizza that Robin had made. But maybe he'll eat that today. And then I know he individually wrapped my chicken breast for me, so he didn't pop it in the freezer, so I just need to do that. That's not a big deal. And even if I write it down, make sure that the pulled pork, the rest of the pork is in the freezer. Maybe I'll organize the pantry. Well, how does that sound? Organize pantry? I mean, this is kind of like, oh, this is a setup video, I just realized. Oven dry the chives and parsley. Freeze the rhubarb because I picked it, didn't freeze it, so I have to like wash it, chop it, freeze it. Freeze rhubarb. Okay, honestly, that's all okay, now I need to think of something fun. We might go apple picking. I'm going to do that with a question mark because already I feel like we have too many things going on. Sometimes Robin and Rachel like to go to farmer's market. That's going to be another question mark. I'm going to write read 1 chapter. From what? I don't know yet. I'll have to look at my books and decide. And I need to read some scripture, which I haven't done yet today. Scripture. And then, oh man, I'm going to write this, but it's not going to happen today. Organize crafts. Even if it did, I would make it into another video. Oh, organized makeup area in my bedroom. I'm trying to peck away at this bedroom. It's just not where I want it. It's not peaceful yet. Organized makeup area. Okay, that's all that fits on this page. That's why we use a short page. So thank you, Pam, for buying me this notebook with short pages. Whoops, all right, show and tell. I just got this on me. You might have seen me take this out in the basement and I was like, I want to use it. I just had the thought this morning that I should use it for my supplements that I take. Maybe. There, here, a little closer now. So I'm going to show you what I use, but I'm not a doctor and you should always check with your doctor before you take anything. I take magnesium glycinate because I think this is supposed to help you be calm. I take all the supplements that are supposed to help you calm down. Sleep, calm, muscle cramps, leg cramps, that kind of stuff. I'm taking ashwagandha because that's supposed to help. Someone told me who's a nurse that it's supposed to help keep your cortisol level healthy. And my cortisol level could use all the help it can get. Then Then, this is new to me, Calm Aid Lavender. You can take it twice a day, in which I was doing, well, it says once daily soft gel. But then it said, recommendation, take one soft gel once or twice daily with a glass of water. Okay, so I was taking one at night, one in the morning. And I'm not doing that anymore. I was going to go off it altogether. It's supposed to help with like racing thoughts at night. So I was taking it with my melatonin. And then I was taking it in the, okay, so yeah, and I was taking it in the morning. Then I thought, is it making me too tired during the day? So I was like, not going to take it during the day. And then I was thinking, well, it is kind of expensive. So maybe I just won't take it because I have 2 daughters also taking it. So then I didn't take it last night. Woke up to use the bathroom at 1 o'clock in the morning and my thoughts were all racing. So I got up, I took one of these, went back to bed, and I probably fell asleep like a half an hour later. So I was like, okay, we're not going to go without that. And then I do take a prescription that is also supposed to help me not have a pounding heart all day long. So I have extra room in here. So we'll see what else goes in here. But for now, I'm pretty happy with that because I don't really want them on my bedside table. I also do on my bedside table have this Dream Bright Bath & Body Works that Yvonne gave me. So sometimes I will just give that a spray. Somewhere in here, I also have a lavender spray that came from Target. It was like $5. It does smell really good. But sometimes I like to spray something before I go to sleep. And also, that's always helps me when I remember to do this, is to just take some time and be thankful. Because I'm thinking, you know, with all these storms, oh my goodness, how blessed am I, you know, that last night I went to bed, I had electricity, soft blankets, a house that was standing, and, you know, yeah. And I'm praying for those of you that have been in the hurricane path. So this came from Amazon. It's Yvonne's for her screen protector. Also, I don't know if you guys ever heard of Lumi. I get so many Lumi ads. It's ridiculous. But what I wish this was, I wish I had this when I had sons home playing soccer, because their feet sweating in those cleats. And then when it would rain, I would always like, oh no, their new cleats are gonna smell awful. And we tried freezing them, microwaving them, stuffing them with newspapers. We tried everything. Lumi, if you have someone who has really stinky feet, this stuff works. So Yvonne got this. I mean, you can use it all over your body. It says for pits, privates, and beyond. Stuff actually really works. So it's so funny because Yvonne doesn't smell bad, but she always thinks she does. She's has a very sensitive nose. Look what I got. One of you was like, why don't you use a makeup mirror? And I thought, you know what? I had a much bigger idea in my brain, but that's actually a very good idea. So I got a cheap one. It was only like, I think it was $29 on Amazon. So it has the little stand that the mirror itself will pop in, and then I can just put it on the shelf and start using it right away because I've been doing my makeup in the downstairs bathroom because the lighting in the upstairs just isn't the best, but I'd really rather do it in my bedroom. Plus, you know, bathroom space is very in demand, let's just say here, with 4 women living here. Okay, so this one has the regular, I'm interested to see what powers it. There's no, oh, is that batteries? Things I don't read. Okay, powered by batteries, which actually makes me happy because I don't have to have a cord. It looks like AAA's, so I'm going to see if I have AAA's, and if not, I'm going to go get some today. So it has a light, and then this suction cups to it. So I'll probably put that here. So this is 10 times, 2 times, 3 times. I need all the times. So I'm just going to put this in the base, like so, right? Like so. Yes, it says powered by 4 AAA batteries not included. Or USB cable, I'm saved. Recommend using the USB cable. Okay, so I can charge it? What is this? Where do I charge it though? I don't, oh, woohoo, look. I'm so happy. So I'm gonna charge this. And then I'll have to show you. I'll have to show you. Not bad for 30 buckaroonies. I think it was $29.99. All right. Okay. Now remembering, I also keep Pepsi Complete by my bed and extra strength Tylenol. So we'll put those in there, but I'll put that towel on the back because I rarely use it. And then these, honestly, I don't really use anymore. But they're so full. I didn't have the heart to get rid of them, so I might put them in a closet where anyone can use them. And I have some of my Optivia fuelings here. Oh, Robin's phone. Okay, so what I usually do with Robin is on Saturdays, I just kind of see what are his goals for the day. So I think I'll go ask him that. But let's do this first. And I'll have to see if he's got a cord, because I don't think it came with a cord. Okay, so I can just put a stool here and sit down and do my makeup. I'll keep improving as I go, but right now I'm just thinking this is the ugliest it will look. It will get better and better. I was wrong. It came with a cord. Super excited, so I'm going to get this plugged in.
All right. So I noticed you're in Get Up. Are you going somewhere?
No?
Oh. I thought maybe we were going to the farm stand today.
We can. We need to sit down and let me just switch this over when you talk about what we want the day to look like.
I noticed you put the other pork in.
That's not pork.
What is it?
Turkey bones.
Oh, you're just making a broth?
Yep.
A bone broth?
Yep.
Alrighty.
When I did the chicken, somebody on the channel said, you can do it in a crock pot too. So I thought, okay, I'll do the next one in a crock pot and then people can see that too. Because you know Thanksgiving's coming.
Yeah.
Okay. Just my husband's salad. This is that flatbread I was saying. We have some tomato paste, a little bit of kale. Butter goes in here. This chicken should go in the freezer. It is individually wrapped. And then this is the rest of the pork. We're leaving it big because this is the part that has the bone in it. Looks like I've had plenty of meat for the time being. I just need to get some ground beef. That's just one people love. Alright, this was a sauce he made yesterday. Some bread, keto bread. And I think these are habaneros, not sure. Alright, carrots. The turkey. And a paintbrush in case I ever paint again. What is this? Baby dill. That looks like it might still be good. And Rachel's gluten-free bagels. We got a couple of lemons here that Yvonne asked for. Yeah, so there is some old salad in here that
My camera battery died. I was just throwing away a bit of salad, but I wanted to show you pictures from our apple picking today. It was so much fun, and the weather really was perfect, although it was cloudy. The apples were so red, they were just beautiful, and they taste so good. It was so relaxing, and not only that, you get some exercise without even thinking of it, and I even saw a woolly bear caterpillar. Thanks so much for spending your time with me. Remember, as always, God loves you, and I love you too, and I can't wait to see you next time.